Welcome to another episode of the Jampack Report today for January the 11th of 2021. Of course, my name is Samuel Adams and this is a daily gaming news podcast meant to bring you the hottest news you need to know from around the industry. Hosted on YouTube and podcast services around the world 5 days a week, it is your one-stop shop for everything you need to know. So if you enjoy the show and you like what you see, hit that subscribe button and keep coming back for more. But over the weekend, the future of a PlayStation franchise was cast into doubt after the Killzone website was officially retired. A notice on Killzone.com has announced that, going forward, visitors to Killzone.com will then be redirected to PlayStation.com, but no clarification is offered on what it means for the future of the Guerrilla Games series. The official website for the Killzone franchise has retired, the website notice reads. While this change does not affect the online multiplayer modes, player statistics, or ranking data for Killzone Mercenary and Killzone Shadowfall, it is now no longer possible to create or manage clans in Killzone Shadowfall. We apologize for this inconvenience. Thank you to Killzone.com's many fans and visitors throughout the years for their enthusiasm and support. The Killzone series was once one of PlayStation's flagship franchises, with 6 installments released across PS3, PS4, and handheld consoles in the 9 years following its 2004 debut. However, the series has not seen a release since 2013's PS4 launch game Killzone Shadowfall, and its developer seems very much focused on its action-adventure series Horizon. Guerrilla recently announced Horizon Forbidden West for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, and VGC understands that the studio has fleshed out plans for a trilogy of Horizon games. Asked in 2017 about the future of the Killzone franchise, then Guerrilla boss Herman Hulst, now PlayStation's head of worldwide studios, gave the Academy of Interactive Arts and Science a non-committal answer. Quote, I get asked that question about the future of Killzone a lot through Twitter and other social media channels, he said. It's really heartwarming to hear that there is such a strong appetite from the loyal Killzone fanbase. It's a franchise and universe that we still love with a passion at Guerrilla. It has not been easy doing something so completely different. Whether or not we have put a permanent period behind the series, it's too early to make announcements on that. All I can say is that we've always loved the Killzone universe and the Killzone series, and we still do. We share that passion for the game with a lot of our fans. Sony recently made signals that it had not totally forgotten about the Killzone series. In its PS5 UI reveal video, it opened with a user account using a Killzone avatar, while some of the names used in the demo appear to be references to Killzone characters. Guerrilla Games co-founder Herman Hulst was named PlayStation's new head of worldwide studios in November 2019, which sees him as manager of all of Sony's 14 internal studios. So, is it the end of Killzone? And quite frankly, I think that it is the temporary end to Killzone. I think it will probably return at some point because it is so iconic. And in my personal opinion, since the beginning, Killzone has been competing with Halo. That's why it was created. Killzone was developed in an attempt to dethrone Halo as this sci-fi space shooter of sorts. And so, whenever that was created, it didn't really pan out. Killzone obviously never really dethroned Halo, and quite frankly, it just never really could live up to what Halo brings to the table. Now that being said, I'm a huge fan of Killzone, and I think that what should happen now is the exact same thing that happened with Halo, its competitor from the very beginning in the eyes of Sony, and that is that they should pass the baton to another studio. Somebody else should take over Killzone that you trust with the IP and that can make a very good first-person shooter. I don't see why they would leave this on the table because Killzone is still one of my favorite PlayStation franchises, and it's a fantastic first-person shooter. If you haven't played Killzone Shadowfall, it's great. It looked beautiful whenever the PlayStation 4 launched back in 2013, and it was the first game that really showed off what that hardware could do for me, and I was really impressed with it, and it remains one of my favorite shooters on that console. But I look forward to hearing more about Killzone in the future because I do not think that it's going to be going away completely, but it makes sense for Guerrilla to not focus on Killzone right now, because Horizon has become one of the flagship PlayStation IP, and in a way, it's much more engaging for a wider audience, because it is that big Sony-esque kind of open-world romp that people have come to expect, so it is logical that they would focus on developing those. But I would love to see Killzone outsourced, maybe another team put on it, something to make it stick around, because I am a huge fan of the franchise. But Over the same weekend, the future of Dying Light 2 was thrown into doubt as well because Techland is now trying to reassure Dying Light 2 fans after a veteran developer has left the studio. Dying Light 2 fans might be reassured to hear that the latest developer to leave the studio was not the art director at the time. Just yesterday, Paul Selinger announced he would be leaving Techland after being with the studio for over 22 years. Some believed that this meant Dying Light 2 was losing its art director, and Techland has now stressed that is not the case. The studio announced that Selinger was not the lead art director for Dying Light 2, and that those duties were taken over by Eric Colchino, I believe I said that correctly, in November of 2019. Techland clarified with PC Gamer, saying, quote, "We would like to reassure all fans of the upcoming Dying Light 2 that the position of art director is not threatened and has been held by Eric Colchino since November 2019. Eric has been taking care of every aspect of the upcoming production ever since, and the team under his leadership is doing their best to offer players the best game possible. While some people might have jumped the gun too quickly with their level of concern, it is within reason. The development of the game has not been the smoothest process. Chris Avalon, one of the game's writers and designers, left the studio after some sexual assault allegations were surfaced, and during Microsoft's E3 conference in 2019, Techland announced a spring 2020 release window, but the game was delayed indefinitely in January of 2020. So when can we expect to play the game? Techland told PC Gamer it will be sharing exciting news about Dying Light 2 soon, and whether that is actually a release date or just a new trailer still remains to be seen. Hopefully we get our hands on it sooner rather than later. This is a game that has been stuck in development hell for quite some time, and obviously, if these statements from Techland are accurate, then there really isn't anything to worry about, specifically in regards to this veteran developer leaving the studio. People move on. Career paths change. That's a natural evolution of life, and I think that a lot of people get a bit caught in the weeds whenever you see these developers and these designers jumping from one studio to another. People just have career changes, and sometimes that's just a natural flow of life. But I do think there is still cause for concern with Dying Light 2, because it has been in development for so long, and there are so many expectations, and many of those expectations are very, very high for Dying Light 2. So the team at Techland has a lot to live up to, and of course the history behind Techland is very interesting because you see essentially tons of people that were working on the next Dead Island game leave and make their own game, and so now you see almost a similar situation that you saw with the team behind Dead Island, where it just continuously gets stuck in development time and time again. Now again, I'm very optimistic. I think it's going to be a fantastic zombie game. And if I had to guess personally, I think that this game was coming along, and then the announcement of next-gen consoles began to make its way into the developer community, and so then you have to begin developing for the next-gen consoles, because who wants to see Dying Light 2 released in 2021 on PS4 and Xbox One? No one wants to see that. You want to see that big next-gen update. And so hopefully that is the case, and hopefully it's just a matter of circumstance. But I did want to let you guys know that a lot of people were calling some things into question over the weekend, and this specific instance does not look to be any cause for concern. However, over the weekend, fans got some bad news because it looks like custom black PS5 consoles made to look like PlayStation 2s might have actually been a scam all along. Last week, reports showed a range of custom black PS2, PS5 consoles which Super5 were creating. According to the site, the company planned on producing 304 of these consoles and 500 DualSense controllers. The team behind the customized hardware has announced that they are canceling all orders and refunding those who pre-ordered the console, and this comes after they received massive backlash from users and even death threats. Super5 has since gone missing, and their Twitter account and website page have since been pulled offline. All this drama arrived after Reddit user Cubed spotted the same custom PS2 themed black PS5 on the site. According to the user, the artwork was actually a mock-up created by user What the F. This raised suspicion that Super5 was not a legitimate brand, and that they planned on scamming users into paying for something they had no intention on making. According to Reddit, the company had no prior history with customized consoles whatsoever, and even the image, which they branded as their own, was not credited correctly to the original artist. It is unclear what caused the brand to cancel all of its orders, delete its Twitter account, and refund all customers. Over on Reddit, users have their own theories on the matter. Many of them claimed that the brand and everything they stood for was a scam. Super5's website, for example, was only created a few days ago, and the address listed on the site is not legitimate either. Other users suggest that Sony intervened and issued a cease and desist, forcing them to cancel the project, and Sony previously put a stop to multiple custom faceplate projects that were in the works. Others think that Super5 sold out to those who failed to secure a console, lashed out against the company with death threats. According to Super5, they had over 54,000 customers who added the custom PS2-themed black PS5 to their wish list. Before deactivating their Twitter account, Super5 tweeted a statement regarding the matter saying, quote, "Last night, our team began receiving credible threats to their safety. We take these threats seriously, and as a result, we are not proceeding forward. All orders are being canceled with full refunds." Thankfully, most users who purchased their PlayStation 5 console or the standalone DualSense controller have received their refund already, and with that being said, it will most likely never be known what the truth is behind this situation. Whenever you start buying custom anything that isn't directly from a manufacturer, there is an inherent raised level of risk, because this could have just been two guys in a basement. This could have been an entire company. You never know who you are talking to on the other end of that online interaction. And so personally, I would love to see this become legitimate. In fact, I would love to see Sony actually make this and have this produced. But when it comes to actually buying it from somebody online, again, there's just this risk, and it seems like a lot of people had pointed out that there were some potential threats within the ordering of these. Now, with that being said, there is never any need to threaten somebody, to place any kind of threat on someone's life, to say you're going to hunt someone down. No one needs to do that. That's a bit much. But regardless, it looks like these custom black PS2 themed PS5 consoles are no mo. But to round out today's show, let's end it on a good note, because Awesome Games Done Quick 2021 has raised over $2.75 million for the Prevent Cancer Foundation. They write, quote, "Our final AGDQ 2021 total is $2,758,847 for Prevent Cancer. The organization announced this earlier today as the event came to an end. We hope that you had a wonderful time watching all of the runs and talented runners, and want to say thank you to everyone involved in the event, everyone who donated, and of course, all of you for being here with us. That wraps up what has been a phenomenal AGDQ 2021. Your support this entire week has been nothing short of spectacular, and we can't thank you all enough. SGDQ 2021, wow, that's a lot of letters and numbers, hold on. SGDQ 2021, there we go, awaits us, and details will come. We'll have regular hotfix content on our Twitch until then, so stick around. Money continues to trickle in though, with the total sitting just north of $276 million at the time of writing, and donations are still welcome via the official donation page, and even can win you prizes. Games Done Quick is a charity fundraising organization that has raised money for charity via speedrunning over the last 10 years. Events are live streamed online non-stop, and all donations go directly to the charity. The next GDQ event is scheduled for later this year, although the final dates have not been confirmed, and so if you do want to donate, head over to the official donation page, put in your information, and give some money if you do so choose. But very cool, because I always love Games Done Quick. And of course, the money goes to a good cause, so kudos to them for bringing some good into what can often be a not great world. But that rounds out today's episode of the Jampack Report. If you enjoyed today's show, drop me a like down below and let me know what stories caught your eye, but specifically, do you think we have seen the end of Killzone, or do you think it's coming back? Would love to hear what you have to say. But until tomorrow, you guys have a fantastic Monday. I'll talk to you soon, and peace.